Did you know that there is something once hailed as the magic wand of every professional chef? For decades, it was the secret behind that perfect, mouth-watering glow in every dish. But today, it's treated like a hidden poison lurking in the corner of your kitchen. I'm talking about MSG, three letters that can turn a delicious meal into a subject of fear and suspicion. You've seen the no MSG labels everywhere, from snack bags to restaurant windows. But have you ever asked yourself, how did a kitchen miracle become a global villain? Is it truly a chemical threat to our health, or is it just the most misunderstood ingredient in history?
Today, we uncover the truth. I'm Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things.
So, what exactly is this mysterious powder? On the outside, it's just fine white crystals, looking almost no different from the salt or sugar in your kitchen cabinet. But inside, it holds the secret to umami, the fifth basic taste. While sweet, sour, salty, and bitter dance on the surface, umami is that deep, savory feeling that provides the foundation. It's the reason why a sun-ripened tomato tastes so much richer than a pale one, or why a slow-cooked soup feels so satisfying. Most people don't realize that this exact same flavor magic is naturally present in foods we already love, like mushrooms, Parmesan cheese, and even human breast milk. It's one of the very first flavors we ever taste. This powder doesn't create any fake taste. It acts like a speaker that amplifies the deliciousness already present in your dish. It signals to your brain that what you are eating is nutritious and deeply satisfying. In short, it is the purest, most concentrated form of the savory joy that nature provides. Now, let's travel back in time to Japan, 1908, to discover how this miraculous seasoning was first uncovered. The story of MSG doesn't begin in a sterile laboratory, but at a simple dinner table. A chemistry professor named Kikunai Ikeda noticed a deep, savory soul in his wife's soup, all thanks to kombu, a type of dried kelp. He managed to isolate the crystal responsible for that flavor, named it glutamate, and gave birth to the brand Ajinomoto, a name that literally means the essence of taste. But the real expansion happened in the shadows of history. As early as the 1920s, the Imperial Japanese Army turned MSG into a military research project. Their goal wasn't just flavor, it was a strategic tool to make bland, canned rations palatable enough to sustain soldiers through grueling campaigns. Studies suggested that appetizing food helped soldiers maintain peak energy for 20% to 30% longer than those eating tasteless rations. By World War II, MSG had become the hidden engine of the Japanese military diet. This created a baffling mystery for the US military. They couldn't understand why Japanese rations tasted so much better than their own. After the war, the discovery of this magic powder led to a massive 1948 symposium. Food giants like Campbell's and General Mills realized that to win the hearts and palates of the world, they needed to adopt the very same secret. But what was it about this magic powder that could transform a bland ration into a feast? To understand that, we have to look at the very architecture of our taste. Think of your tongue like a piano. Sweet, sour, salty, and bitter are the basic keys. But umami? Umami is the sustain pedal that makes those notes resonate long after you've struck them. That's why the flavor of a perfectly seared steak or a sun-ripened tomato clings to your palate like a beautiful afterglow. And did you know that our love for MSG is actually hardwired into our DNA? Both amniotic fluid and human breast milk are naturally packed with glutamates. We are programmed to crave this flavor from the very first breath we take. It's not just a seasoning, it's nature's way of telling a newborn, this is the protein that will sustain your life. But here is the plot twist. MSG might actually be your heart's best friend. Most people don't realize that MSG contains 2/3 less sodium than regular table salt. While salt is nearly 40% sodium, MSG is only 12%. When you blend a pinch of MSG with a reduced amount of salt, it doesn't taste less salty. Instead, the umami effect fills in the gaps, making the dish feel just as satisfying, if not more, with 40% less total sodium. This is the secret weapon used in hospitals and school lunches to keep meals heart-friendly without losing flavor. Ironically, the ingredient once feared as unhealthy is now a key tool for a better diet. It acts like a magnifying glass for flavor. It doesn't change the ingredients. It just makes the very best parts of them stand out. Imagine a plain bowl of broccoli. It's healthy, but maybe a bit boring. A pinch of MSG doesn't change the broccoli. It just gives it a better filter and brighter lighting, making it the star of the show. It's the reason why global snacks like Doritos or Pringles are so addictive. They aren't just potato or corn. They are expertly engineered delivery systems for umami. But then, a scandal erupted, the fallout of which led most of us today to view MSG as a devilish seasoning. It all started with a single letter in 1968. A physician named Dr. Robert Ho Man Kwok wrote to a medical journal describing a weird numbness after eating Chinese food. He called it Chinese restaurant syndrome. The media ignited like a wildfire. Suddenly, MSG was the monster under every dinner table. Restaurants scrambled to put no MSG signs in their windows, and an entire cuisine was unfairly stigmatized for decades. But here's the plot twist. That letter wasn't a scientific study. It was just an anecdote, a story, a guess. When real science finally stepped in, the monster vanished. Decades of rigorous testing by the FDA, the WHO, and European health authorities reached the same verdict. MSG is safe. Unless you're consuming mountain-sized heaps of it on an empty stomach, your body treats it just like any other glutamate, whether it comes from a lab or a ripe tomato. Even so, that exoneration hasn't been enough to erase a prejudice deeply etched into the minds of millions. The Chinese restaurant syndrome narrative didn't just target a seasoning. It unfairly branded Asian kitchens as unclean or mysterious. Historians now see this as a textbook case of how racism and misinformation can distort the truth for over half a century. The irony is everywhere. While people were terrified of a bowl of wonton soup, they were happily munching on Doritos, Pringles, and KFC, all of which are loaded with MSG. No one ever complained of a headache after eating a Parmesan-crusted pizza or a Campbell's mushroom soup, even though those Western staples often contain more glutamate than any Chinese takeout. As celebrity chef David Chang famously challenged the world, "If MSG is so bad, why doesn't anyone get headaches from Doritos?" This episode remains a powerful reminder of how misinformation and fear of the unfamiliar can distort the truth for over half a century. So, how did the MSG industry fight back? They didn't just use ads, they used the ultimate weapon, science. For decades, Ajinomoto and other global producers funded independent double-blind studies to prove what they already knew, that MSG is metabolically identical to the natural glutamate found in a ripe tomato. They invited the World Health Organization, WHO, and international food safety experts to scrutinize the raw data, eventually reclaiming its global safe certification. But the real battle was cultural. In 2020, Ajinomoto launched a viral campaign called Redefine CRS. They challenged Merriam-Webster to change the definition of Chinese restaurant syndrome in the dictionary, arguing it was outdated and scientifically inaccurate. And they won. The dictionary updated the entry to reflect that the term was rooted in bias, not biology. The wave of transparency didn't stop there. In Vietnam, Ajinomoto Vietnam opened its factory doors to the public, inviting thousands of students and families to witness the fermentation process of sugarcane and cassava. They turned a mysterious chemical into a natural agricultural product. Meanwhile, in Thailand, Ajinomoto Thailand launched the Eat Well, Live Well campaign, partnering with top nutritionists to show how MSG can actually reduce sodium intake by making low-salt foods taste better. Even the giants of the instant noodle world joined the fray. Companies like Ace Cook and Nissin stopped hiding the presence of MSG behind complex chemical names. Instead, they began educating consumers through TV shows and cooking competitions, emphasizing that umami is the soul of the broth. They shifted the narrative from safety to quality, proving that if the world's most famous chefs use it to win Michelin stars, it definitely belongs in your pantry. Take Anthony Bourdain, the the legendary chef and storyteller. He famously dismissed the MSG panic as a complete lie, pointing out that if MSG were truly toxic, half of China would have a permanent headache. Even the biggest food corporations in the US have doubled down. Giants like PepsiCo, the maker of Doritos, and Campbell's Soup Company have consistently stood by the safety of MSG. They didn't retreat. Instead, they worked with the FDA, US Food and Drug Administration, to reiterate that MSG is generally recognized as safe, the same category as salt, sugar, and vinegar. And let's not forget the food science evangelist J. Kenji Lopez-Alt. As the chief creative officer of Serious Eats, he conducted rigorous tests that proved the MSG headache was largely psychological. When influential platforms like the New York Times and Bon Appetit began publishing articles titled, "Why MSG is Actually Good," the war was finally won. Now, here is your 10-second rule to transform from a casual cook into an MSG expert. Most people think all white crystals are the same. They aren't. To spot high-quality MSG in just 10 seconds, look at the clarity and the shape. High-purity MSG should look like tiny translucent needles, sharp and clear, not dull or powdery. If it's too white or clumps together, it's likely packed with fillers or moisture. Pure umami should flow like dry sand through your fingers. To avoid low-quality products, the next time you're shopping, check the label for 99% purity. Anything less means you're paying for harmful additives, not the true magic wand of flavor. Master this 10-second check, and you'll never settle for second-rate flavor again. Ultimately, the story of MSG isn't just about a seasoning, it's about how we perceive the world. For over half a century, a single fake letter and a mountain of prejudice managed to overshadow a scientific truth. It reminds us that fear and misinformation can travel much faster than the truth, especially when they target what we find unfamiliar. But the comeback of MSG also gives us hope. It shows that when science, culture, and transparency join forces, even the deepest-rooted biases can be dismantled. It teaches us to judge a dish, and perhaps a person, by their true essence, not by the labels the world has unfairly attached to them. So, the next time you see those 3 letters, MSG, on a food label, don't be afraid. Just enjoy the deliciousness it brings. If today's journey into the secrets of MSG resonated with you, leave a comment below. What's another simple thing you think we should peel back next? Your idea might just become the heart of our next episode.
I'm Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things. Thank you for your time.
And remember, what you see is never the whole story. There is always something deeper hidden just beneath the surface. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the simple yet surprising truths of our daily lives. I'll see you in the next episode.